What's up, doers? Welcome to the driveway. Over some materials to make a temporary sprinter bed for your sprinter van. So the materials are pretty easy. All we need is this Scorva bed frame from IKEA, some Velcro, some M8 screws, and then the Leroy from IKEA as well, and also a trifold mattress. And yeah, these are all the tools that you need to install a temporary board, and I'll show you the progress that I've made so far. Looks pretty good. See you in more. It's more of an instructional video. So on the back of the van here, we want to determine how far away we want the first bracket. So what I did is I took a tape measure and I measured from the back of the van to the bracket on one side. And you can see on the other side, I already have the bracket where I want it. And then we just drill pilot holes. So I marked in Sharpie where I want to drill the pilot holes, and we're gonna drill those up. Whoops.
You put one of this in first?
Yeah, so the next step is to tap it. And I went back and forth on this a lot about whether or not we use rivets or not. And the sheet metal is pretty thin, but I came up with a strategy that works for us. We got these bolts out of the cars. Oops. And you can see that they're self-tapping. So instead of buying a tap set, I'm just gonna use the self-tapping bolt from the M8, screw it in, and then that's gonna tap it all the way in, and about halfway down the screw, once it gets to the threads, yeah, go a little further. Now pull it back out. And we've just basically tapped a thread there. You can kind of see that there's some threads on the hole now, where if you just drill it with a drill bit, there's no threads. So I got these M8 by 16 screws. We're using metric because the Mercedes metrics. And we should just be able to screw it in. There you go. Now the reason also I like the metric screws is that if you look at a bunch of screws, the threads are super tight, which is really good for this sheet metal. And as you can see, it's pretty sturdy. So we're gonna go ahead and keep doing this, and we'll check back. So on the back of the van here, we wanna determine how far away we want the first bracket. So what I did is I took a tape measure and I measured from the back of the van to the bracket on one side. And you can see on the other side, I already have the bracket where I want it. And then we just drill pilot holes. So I marked in Sharpie where I want to drill the pilot holes, and we're gonna drill those up. Whoops. Oh, a little higher. Sweet. One down, two to go. So then you just take one of these things, and they have little clips. You put it in, and then there's a telescoping portion of it, so you can adjust the length, and then slide it on the other side, and then you're done. So I'm gonna sit on it. And it should hold my weight. No problem. Nice. So now we're gonna take these slats and use them to measure the distance between the two boards. Making sure to leave it about a halfway so that the boards on the other side are good to go. So for the last step here, we're just putting these boards on. You can see that they fall and make a lot of noise, so it's best to Velcro them. So got a little Velcro, lining them up, and as you can see, just put a little Velcro on the edge here so that they're temporary. I'm sure you could think of something smarter if you wanted, but we like this pretty good. So you can see these brackets are pretty good, and this is the bed, and it looks great. Final step is you put the trifold mattress in, and we're good to go. It's not a perfect fit, but it's pretty good. Okay, so we built the bed. It looks great, and it holds weight and everything, so we're good to go. So now it's supposed to be removable, so I'm gonna time how long it takes me to remove it, and this will be in time lapse, I think.
Switch it.
All done.